Hello guys, this is Wunderby Trading and we carry on with our weekly Bitcoin and Ethereum price analysis. And let's go straight into it. On your screens you can see the BTC price charts. One is related to BTC futures, the other one is the BTC Dominance, the BTC USD from Bitstamp, which is the most historical data that we have on the BTC price, and the one on the bottom right is BTC USDT from Binance. This is the one where we trade. So let's start from the futures. We're starting from the weekly time frame as usual. What you can see here is that this yellow mark was our previous gap that we actually filled during the previous week as we predicted. At the same time, what you can see here is that the last week moved towards the 50 MA, and this 50 MA acted as a resistance. Even though the volume was actually quite good, the formation of the candle was quite good, we still see that we are in a downward trend, and this trend seems to continue. This week, the week with the Christmas, will be quite important to see whether we can build up the volume over here and break this level of resistance and go into the reverse. Let's go to the daily. On the daily graph, you can see that another gap was formed, so I'll move this one over here. So the new gap is between 7,250 to around 7,400, and again, if we trust the statistics, this gap will be filled with 75% chance during this week. What else can we see here is the divergence between the price and the RSI indicator. So this is quite actually contradictions. So in terms of the price movement in the short term and the reverse of the price and the reverse of the momentum and the price going towards the upper side of this downward channel. So how this can happen on the CME futures? What we believe is that we can form the head and shoulders pattern. So something like this can be formed, and this will actually fulfill all the criteria that we currently have. So first of all, this will fulfill the gap. Secondly, we might see another divergence between the price and the RSI indicator, so triple divergence, and after that we can go towards the upper side of our downward channel. And this can act as a reverse of the whole trend. We might see if the volume will start building up and we can break above this downward channel. So only in this criteria, I believe this is possible to see that this is actually a reverse of our downtrend. Let's look at the BTC Dominance. Over here it's quite clear that we are out of the woods in terms of the downward channel. The BTC was increasing during this recent price move higher than the altcoins, at the most of altcoins, so that's why the BTC Dominance was increasing. What we expect right now is some kind of rebounds toward the area of the support around 69%. And then we might hold here, or we might carry on with another retest of the support of the downward channel towards the area of 67%. Let's look at the historical price movement, and we'll switch to the weekly once again. Over here we can see the similar story, that the 50 MA acted as a resistance. We currently right at it, so the price is slightly below than the 50 MA, but we don't see any divergence on the weekly charts. On the daily, yes, there is divergence over here between the price and the RSI. The 50 MA is still acting as a resistance, and this is actually quite important. Again, this week, if we would be able to break this key resistance, then we will go towards the next level, which is 200 MA, and this will be also in line with the base of the previous triangle at around 9,340. So we'll plot it over here. So if we will see an increase in volume, which we actually didn't see during this price movement, then we might break the resistance. We'll go towards the 200 MA, and starting from that point we will be looking for the future price movement. Okay, let's look at the trading opportunities in the short term. So we'll go to the Binance exchange, we'll switch to the 4-hour chart. What we can see here is that we broke the 200 MA on the 4-hour chart. We had a little bit of a volume. The volume was not great, to be honest. We can see that based on purely on the volume, you can see on the short-term divergence between the price moving up and the volume is actually decreasing. We're going towards the upper bound of the RSI indicator as well, so we might see some resistance over here. And another crucial level will be, as usual, 7,800. That was the previous level of support, and now it's a level of resistance that we have to break in order to go towards the upper side of the downward channel. So in the meanwhile, we're not in any position for BTC, we're not buying or selling it. We currently carry on monitoring what's going on with BTC. We don't see any good price movement, we don't see any good volume actions, and that's why we decide to stay out of the market. So the general conclusion for the BTC, we are not out of the woods yet. We might see another fall if the bulls will not be able to pick up the volume, and at least in the short term for this week we're expecting some retracement from that movement from the 18th of December, so we need some retracement over here. Let's actually put the Fibonacci retracement to see what to expect from the downward movement, somewhere in the region of 7,100. This would be the prediction, because this is the area where on the 4-hour charts the 200 MA and 50 MA will act as a support. So let's switch to another chart and let's talk about Ethereum in particular. This is the Ethereum Classic. No, let's switch to Ethereum USDT from Binance, and this is the weekly chart on Binance. The previous week closed not in a bad way in terms of the candle itself. The volume was above the 20 moving average. We did have the tail and the body on the upper side of it, which can be classified sort of as a hammer. However, we don't see any huge support in terms of in favor of bulls. Let's switch to the daily chart over here. We don't see the divergence on the previous move. So the price was going on, the RSI indicator moved down slightly as well. So we can draw a downward channel starting from this point as a local channel over here, and we're currently in it. We might see a short retracement back towards 140. This will act perfectly with the previous level of support, which became resistance, but in a longer frame we should expect a further move down towards 120, even maybe further towards the 110 region. Even though it seems like we're currently at the bottom, there is still more room for Ethereum to actually go down. But we wanted to show you a couple of other assets. One of them is the Ethereum Classic. This was a very good trading opportunity for us and we took it. We saw this divergence over here, and we also saw that this area was a nice area of accumulating the asset. And we had a trade of about 10%. So when the price was coming towards the area of the resistance from this down wedge, we actually exited the position. Currently we're monitoring whether it would be possible to re-enter the Ethereum Classic trade, or this resistance will hold and we would be actually in a horizontal channel. There are also some other opportunities. One of them is Dash. We're closely monitoring this one as well. It's a very similar story to Ethereum Classic. We can see the divergence, we can see that the volume is building up. and at the same time we did not break the down wedge yet, so we're closely monitoring this opportunity. And another one we're looking at is Zcash. We're currently in the zone where we can accumulate, we can see the volume. We can also see the divergence which is happening, but the key point would be if we can break the $32 mark and then go towards the upper part of the channel, which is a nice 24, almost 25%. This is something what we are currently monitoring and looking for. If we will go towards the bottom of that channel, then there is an opportunity to trade within the channel with a very short stop and a nice profit. So those are the current positions that we're currently monitoring. Okay guys, please subscribe to our YouTube and Telegram channel to stay tuned with our analysis. Very soon there is a Christmas and New Year surprise that is coming from us, and this would be our trading strategy, and at the same time we will show you the results of those trading based on the historical data. And best of luck with your trading.